Sports. The Pacers still playing on their home court in this one. And now the opening lineup for Boston. Bradley and Pierce fill out the wings. Green is out there with Garnett. And it's Rondo in at the 1. And for the Pacers, Hill and George, they're manning the back. Danny Granger out there with Tyler Hansbrough. And it's Hibbert in at the 5, roaming the paint.
What a luxury it is for Boston to have Paul Pierce on this roster, because when the play breaks down, he's probably as good as anybody in the league at just backing you down, using that strength, using his incredible footwork to get a shot off, not just any shot, a high percentage.
Here's Rondo, following the basket by George Hill. Rondo kicks to Garnett, and there's the rejection. George up top, guarded by Bradley. George against Bradley. Three-pointer, Granger. The rebound by the Celtics. And Paul Pierce, one of the most versatile scorers parked in the NBA.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he can back you down, he can face you up, he works off screens, he can make plays off the dribble for himself, for his teammates. He's a multi-pronged problem for the opponents.
And the foul on Avery Bradley. That is his first foul of the game. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Doc Rivers.
They'll have to deal with the size and shooting combination that Danny Granger presents, and he knows that is going to be a tough problem. He said that even though Granger might not be one of the headliner names in the NBA, he can eat defenses alive with the mismatches he creates. He's hoping they can avoid that in this one, guys.
All right, Doris, thanks. Here's good.
Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
Well, you talk about the teams that are on the rise in the East, and you have to take a good, strong look at what the Pacers have done. A big reason for their resurgence is how well they play in the Eastern Conference, but also they've got some young, talented players that continue to get better.
Thing in the Pacers. You don't end up as the third seed in the conference unless you're beating your peers.
Yeah, 29 wins for them against the other Eastern Conference teams. And they've made it clear they're going to be a force for the foreseeable future. They've got a really nice, strong young roster.
Hansbrough hits them both.
You know, the area where the Celtics started to struggle last year was winning games on the road. That's something they had done pretty well in previous seasons, but they were very inconsistent away from Boston last year.
Now, here's Bradley, averaging 10 points per contest. Rondo's shot is off.
He's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
Hill kicks to George. Shoots over Bradley. And that one's on target from the wing. And for the Celtics, a lot of those close ones they were used to being able to pull out on the road seemed to go, I think, the other way last season.
They sure did, and all those losses added up as they ended with a road record of 15 and 18. Kept 15 wins, the lowest of any playoff team in the East.
Oh, man, that was a real
Mark it up. Boy, that's some physical basketball out there. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that. A hard pick and an assault on the bucket.
Old school stuff there.
Yeah, there was a lot to like on that play.
You know, throughout the history of the NBA, the Celtics have been such a constant presence in the postseason that it's hard to imagine the playoffs without seeing the green. Every year the players change, but the Celtics mystique is always in it, and that team is always hanging around.
Rondo kicks to Green. Garnett with the screen for Green. With the lead pass, and Garnett misses.
He got the shot he wanted off that pick, just couldn't get it to fall.
But Steve, they'll take that play all day long, 10 times out of 10. That was good action.
That was good. That's now 8 points here for George. It's really the mark of a great franchise. Boston expects great things from the Celtics each year, and more often than not, Steve, they deliver.
Yeah, you don't get all those banners that they have in that building without executing in the postseason. That's what this Celtic team has done the last few years. They play together, they play hard, they defend, and they're at their best when their best is needed.
Good on the shot. Rondo's got his first 2 points of the night. Looking at the the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, they allowed far too many open looks in that game, guys.
Can't disagree with you there, Steve. I mean, that's exactly what did them in. They didn't apply nearly enough pressure on their shooting. I like that one-handed spike right there.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, he's not going to miss many of those.
Hill passes to Granger. It's back to Hill. Fires the three. And it's Bradley with the rebound. Boston trailing. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder. Now here's Rondo. Right now averaging 7 points a game. The shot by Pierce will not go.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get too many better looks from that range.
So the Pacers call timeout. They're first of the game. Clark, this is the first they're seeing of Boston.
Well, we saw how competitive and entertaining the season series was between these two teams last year. That was fun to watch.
Lynch comes in for time. And some changes here for the Celtics. And take a look at this. Every team loves to have guys like these. Big men who can pass like guards. These are their assist totals on the season. Second is Roy Hibbert. And, of course, David West. And they match up really well.
Kevin, they really do. Sometimes it comes down to the X factor when these two teams play. And really, it could go either way. They're that evenly matched.
And that slam dunk by Granger.
You know, once he corralled that rebound, he was in just the right spot to power it back down.
You can see it coming, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that was going to be a simple little putback. He saw the angle and he gave it a little something extra.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first.
Well, Pacers continued to improve as a team last season.
And Stevenson comes in for George. And DJ Augustine subbed in for George Hill. And for the Pacers at 23-10 at home last season, most years you have a winning percentage like that at home, well, you're in good shape.
Yeah, and an improvement from the season before, too, Kevin. I mean, just a few extra wins at home can take you from being the 8 seed as they were in 2011 all the way up to the 3 seed, which is where they were last year.
Terry with it, averaging 6 points per contest. Outside Williams. Back to Terry. Outside Williams. The Celtics working the ball around now. Shot from the top of the key. Shot by Terry, no good. Pacers leading by 5. Here is Stevenson. Right now averaging 7 points a game.
Well, it's never easy to leave a team that you won a title with, but Jason Terry just couldn't pass up the opportunity to play with the Celtics. Signed a deal with him this past offseason. I think it's a great fit. Excellent shooter, good playmaker, and fearless in the clutch.
And here's Augustine looking for his first bucket of the game. Kicks it to Stevenson. Shot clock at 6.
Really?
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Celtics had a bit of turnover. They got a veteran who knows how to play several roles and do it well with Jason Terry. Very much the kind of player the Celtics have had on their roster the last few years.
And a whole new group out on the floor for the Celtics. Rondo dishes to Pierce. And it's off from three-point range. Pacers leading by 7. Dishes it to Augustine. Fires from the wing. Count that one. Augustine's got his first points in this one. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Green kicks to Garnett. Back to Green. And he makes good on his first shot of the game.
Well, that's his shot. He is really proficient from that mid-range.
Pacers have gone 7 of 12 from the field here in the first quarter. Here's Augustine. That's good. Augustine's got his second bucket of the night.
That's right where they wanted to go with the ball on that possession.
Outside, Pierce. He dishes it to Bradley. Green to the middle. Here's Pierce. And a serious dunk to finish it off.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, but he pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark.
Yes, sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing.
Here's Stevenson. No good with the wing jumper. And that does it for the first quarter. Second quarter, just getting set to start. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Pacers?
And you get a chance early on to see their depth. They got a nice effort from their bench players early in this game.
Yes, Steve, I tell you what, their subs have really packed the punch for them so far.
On the court for the Celtics, they've got Joe Prisbilla. Rajon Rondo is out there with Jordan Crawford. And there's Green. And it's Williams at the small forward position. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Guys, the Celtics have been one of the top teams in the East, but there is a line of thinking saying they're too old to still contend for a title. Be careful writing them off, though. Last season, they became the first team in 28 years to make the conference finals after sitting with a record under 500 at the All-Star break. Kevin, this team knows how to bounce back.
Such a terrific turnaround. Thanks, Doris. And around a minute gone here in the second quarter. Outside Williams. Jams it with authority.
And check out the bounce.
Bounce to the ounce. Clark, how about that?
Yeah.
All right, showing him off right there. Good move.
What does that even mean, Kevin? Bounce to the ounce?
Here's Hibbert. And the layup is good. And the Pacers lead by 6. On offense, here are the Celtics.
And I think a big change for the Pacers, and one of the reasons they've become one of the better teams in the East, was the addition of David West. He just brought some leadership that was much needed for a very young Pacers roster.
And Granger with the block. And they're able to recover.
A chance now to take a look at how the Pacers are doing, Kevin, here early in the season. 3rd in rebounding, 7th in block. And team assists, not a strong point for this team. Top 20 in the league. They tend to do a lot of their scoring off one-on-one moves.
And the rebounds really jump out at me, Clark, when you talk about all those numbers. This is a ferocious rebounding team. They're very physical. And they always take the fight to their opponent. They seem to own it. And when they do that well, they're awfully tough to beat.
And here's George for 3.
Good shot.
Out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. And let's take this chance to look at some of the perimeter players who aren't afraid to mix it up in the middle either. These are the top rebounding point guards in the league. Take a look at him. He does a great job inside, one of the top rebounders in the league.
This is a unique group of players. It's not often we talk about the rebound leaders at the point, but with these guys, it's warranted because of just how well they do it.
You know, it definitely sets them apart from most of the other point guards in the league when you can glass eat like that. They've got a little bit of that big man attitude in them. Battling in the paint when the shot goes up and feeling like they can get some rebounds too.
Pacers leading by 3.
I'll tell you guys, it's great to see Jeff Green back on the court after missing all of last season following a very serious heart surgery. He repaired aortic aneurysm, something that a few other NBA players have dealt with, including Ronnie Turiaf. So hopefully he'll be healthy and back on his game this year.
Here's the pass to Bradley. The Celtics working the ball around now. Gets it to go. And that's now 11 points for Paul Pierce. The Pacers have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Hill inside. He's covered by Rondo. He gathers. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Jeff Green, kind of a combo forward, played a lot of power forward with the Thunder Clark. And more small forward, it seems like, with the Celtics.
Well, I love his versatility. It's so valuable to have a guy like him, Kevin. I think he's a little better defensively on the perimeter than he is on the post, in the post rather, but coaches can look at the matchups and determine where to play him situation by situation, and he can add value to you.
Williams can't get it to go.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps. And they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
Three-pointer, Granger. That's good. Granger's got 5.
Well, Granger has never been shy shooting the ball, Kevin. He's a guy who shoots it with supreme confidence, great range, and as basically a hybrid 4, you have to guard him all the way out to the perimeter, and that opens up the paint as well.
Yeah, he's got in the gym range, Steve, and with his height and length, he'll pull up with the defender right on him and just shoot it over the top of him. Well, it's hard for me to believe this, that Doc Rivers, guys, is in his 14th season as an NBA head coach. We banged heads against each other between the lines way back in the day on the hardwood. He's already coached top 20 all-time in playoff wins. Won Coach of the Year back in 2000. His first season as a head coach. For those who may not know, was also an outstanding commentator for taking the reins on the sideline. So well versed in the world of basketball as Doc Rivers.
Time call here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
And Clark, you were talking about Doc Rivers. You mean on the floor.
Some changes for Boston. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. Taking a look at Boston. And of course, the Boston Celtics tied up with them. Bradley dishes to Green. Back to Bradley. Intercepted. Green against Rondo. Pass to Augustine. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. And David West gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
It's kind of a weird start to the playoff last year for Boston. Rondo gets suspended early, but the Celtics were able to get past the Hawks as they matched up as the 4 and 5 seeds, and the Celtics actually did not have home court advantage in this.
True. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Jason Terry, a fixture in Dallas for the last 8 seasons, acquired by the Boston Celtics in part to replace the departing Ray Allen. And Terry's a great fit in Boston, a gifted shooter and shot creator, something the Celtics didn't have in great supply. He's an important cog for a team that seems to have reloaded rather than rebuilt this offseason. Terry said, if they need me to wash the uniforms or sweep the floor, whatever role Doc wants me to play, I'm here to give it my all. That's what I've done my whole career, whatever it takes to win. Kevin, you have to love that attitude.
It's something else, all right. Thank you, Doris. Hard to wonder how the Celtics would fare as an older team and shortened season, a completed window of games, so many games crammed into 1 week. You just weren't sure how much gas they had in the tank. It comes playoff time, Steve, but as it showed, they won a couple series and made their way through.
Yeah, I thought it was really impressive for getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, taking Miami to 7 games. They had their chance, too. You know, up 3-2 in a home game, but LeBron and Miami were just too much.
Crawford kicks to Terry. Green with the rebound.
Well, you know what? You really expect him to knock that jumper down when he gets a good look like that.
Here is Stevenson beyond the arc. Offensive rebound. Moves back up. And it's West getting it to go. And the Pacers lead by 10.
Another board for them, and they got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games. If you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably. Are you kidding me? Would you look at this guy?
That's a little bit unexpected there.
Yeah, that's the kind of aggression he needs to have on a daily basis. And that's his first 3-pointer, so maybe that one will get him started.
Crawford kicks to Bass. He goes up. There's the killer two-handed slam.
He He's a bit short for the power forward spot, but his great leaping ability more than makes up for it.
40 seconds left in the second quarter. Stevenson kicks to Augustine. Now the feed to Stevenson. And a missed layup.
So far, he hasn't made much of a contribution at the offensive end.
Green against Terry. He feeds it to Sullinger. Feeds it to Williams. And a big-time jam right there.
You know, how exciting is it, guys, to see him go hard to the basket like that? I love it.
It's always fun to see, and it's one of the sights you can count on when he's out there, for sure.
But you got to try to do more to slow him down. You can't play him so soft near the hoop.
Here's Augustine, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
Yeah, he got whacked. Shouldn't be much of a need on that one.
Yeah, that was as straightforward as it gets, guys.
Both free throws, good from Augustine. And so we say lead by 9. A Sprint halftime show with Damon Bruce, and the third quarter about ready to get underway. Paul George really making a difference here.
Yeah, the points have really come in bunches for him so far, and not really a surprise because you know exactly what he can do.
Well, he's been in the groove all game long, Steve, and not too many hiccups in regards to his shooting, but we also have come to expect this from him, so we're not surprised by it.
Green is out there with West. And there's Ian Mahine. That's Lance Stevenson. And it's Augustine in at the point guard position. So that's the group out there for Indiana. The pass to Stevenson. Gives him the lead pass. Green.
Really?
It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
How about Gerald Green, a first-round pick for the Celtics back in 2005? Other than winning the dunk contest in 2007, he really didn't do much. And that's why he left the NBA, bounced around in Russia, China, the D-League. But he came back with New Jersey last year with another shot at the NBA, and he played extremely well.
Here's Williams. Dunks it down.
Well, I tell you, he squeezed that orange as tight as he could before that throwdown.
Yeah, no way he was going to lose that thing on the way up. You're right, Clark.
Better safe than sorry. You got to be sure when you're in traffic.
He kicks it to Augustine. Up with it. Flanking it by the D. Fights to the rim for the layup. Augustine's got 8 points. And going back to Jerry.
Oh, shit.
Last season, he really shot well. He helped the Nets, who really needed some help at that small forward position.
Nice to see him back in the league and on those highlight reels. Tremendously athletic when he had his first go-round in the league, and now he's combined that with better skills and better shot making. His shooting has really improved as well.
Here's Mahimi, and the layup call. And it's a 10-point Pacer lead.
Nice touch near the hoop.
Terry outside. Terry off the pick from Bax. 3-pointers off the mark.
Well, they've built a big lead here so far, and a lot of it has to do with how well they've been rebounding.
Yeah, every time they make a stop, they're securing the rebound, and that's really allowed them to get out to this lead.
Indiana moving it around. Stevenson kicks to Augustine. Just 4 to shoot. Pulls up. High post. No good. And it's Boston the other way. After this one, they're off to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip. Outside Williams. And he slams it in one-handed.
All business there, not messing around one bit. Flushed it right with one hand.
He never does, Clark. He never does.
Well, that's kind of his trademark, those slams like that one. And Boston has really kind of set the bar in the Eastern Conference over the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh my fucking God.
Last year, but they did fare pretty well against their Eastern Conference opponents.
Augustine passes to Stevenson. Over Crawford. They kick it out to Green. Pass to Augustine. And the foul goes on Jordan Crawford. That's foul number 2 for him. And the whole new ranking.
First in free throw percentage. It was 6th in field goal percentage. And they're in the top half of the league in getting steals as well. Not bad, but could be better.
And anytime you lead the league in free throw shooting, as you talked about in the Mark game, you can put a lot of pressure on the defense. And that's why this team has made a concerted effort to attack the rim and get to the line as often as possible.
Augustine dishes to Mahimi. It's good assist from Augustine. Mahimi's got his second bucket of the game to go. Now a timeout called by Boston. And let's run down for you the top 3-point shooting point guards in the league this season. Let's take a look at him. One of the best shooters in the NBA, top 5 in the league at this moment.
Well, a lot of the point guards in the NBA don't get enough credit for how well they shoot the ball. So give this group their due. Some outstanding long-range shooters right there.
No question about it, Steve. And being able to knock down the three ball as well as this group can makes them so much more effective at the point guard spot. It really causes problems for the defense.
Well, the Pacers dispatched the Magic with such ease that it turned some heads, but Steve, I know they knew the real challenges would lie ahead in the later rounds, like that physical series they had in round 2 against Miami. In fact, I think you did one of the games, game 5 down in South Florida.
Yeah, I was down there, Kevin. That was a great series. And the Pacers, they led that series 2-1. It looked like they had Miami on the rope before Wade and LeBron kicked it into gear and ended up winning that series in 6. But I think it bodes well for Indiana, just how well they played in the regular season and giving Miami all they could handle in the playoffs.
George against Bradley. Hands broke. He's again. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Hibbert was a guy that we weren't sure if he would pan out as a center in the NBA. He had a nice career at Georgetown, but what he's done is he's developed his game year in and year out. He's gotten better every season. Good footwork, strong body, knows how to use that body to score around the basket.
Yeah, he's got excellent touch and really can use both hands with the jump hook. But what he really does well and where he's really grown the most is on defense. When you see a guy his size blocking shots and changing shots without fouling the way he does, that's a real presence inside.
And guys, I think Roy Hibbert is one of the best stories from a year ago. First time All-Star. He worked so hard to strengthen his lower body. And then you see the difference as far as what it meant to him at both ends of the floor. Really throwing his weight around inside, but also using that skill to step out.
Now the Pacers moving it up. He passes to George. Back to Hibbert. And he's knocked off course by the foul call. And Roy Hibbert out of Georgetown, 7-2. And even among NBA players, you see him walk out on the court and you think, man, is this guy big.
And Kevin, he's gotten better at using that size, that big body of his, both offensively and defensively. He really did a good job of being able to defend and protect the paint aggressively without fouling as much as he did in his first 3 years.
And Hibbert hits them both.
And for Roy Hibbert, no player has improved any more than he has. Having watched him from college at Georgetown until now, you got to be impressed with his dedication to remake himself athletically. It didn't come easily for him. When he arrived in college, he couldn't do 10 push-ups. They said he had to learn to run. He's done a tremendous job to add mobility, strength, and confidence to his game. Mobility and strength to that big frame of his.
That's a great story.
It is. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a good pick that was set and turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
But because of the pick, he got plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slant.
Bradley against George. And for Roy Hibbert, and you were just telling me this other day, Clark, he had to go through a diagnosis for asthma, which they did not know about until he went and had some thorough test taken, and they addressed it. And he mentioned before he hit the weights, he lifts all year long. Steve, he's been a wonderful project that has now blossomed into this rising star at that position.
Well, you love what he's done, Kevin, because at Georgetown, he really couldn't move. He was heavy, he couldn't run, but he's done so much physically, nutrition, conditioning-wise. He's even added a personal chef to cook his meals, and you can see it now. Something in his physique, the way he's performing. He's become a big-time player.
his way now.
No way that he was going to slow him down.
Not that time. They weren't about to take those points away from him.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Bass comes in for Joel Frisbilla. And it's Terry in for Rajon Rondo. Celtics trail by 9. Out of bounds. Celtics ball as Boston keeps possession. And some changes here for the Celtics. Sellinger's checked in for Green. Williams comes in for Paul Pierce. And Jordan Crawford is subbed in for Courtney Lee.
Damn.
Both loose. Here we go. 1-on-1. George with the ball. And Crawford picks him up defensively. Now timeout called by Boston.
How about Paul George? Since he got into the NBA, he's grown a couple of inches. He's now 6'10". And as a swingman, that's just great size. Phenomenal athlete, can guard pretty much anybody on the court.
And Paul George taken with the 11th pick in the 2010 NBA draft. Clark, if you look back at that class, do you think if they did it over, he'd go on?
I don't know if he would or not, but I'm certainly glad he fell where he did to number 10 for the Indiana Pacers, because I think he's got a chance to be a star. At both ends of the floor, it's a matter of commitment to the extra work and keeping his feet on the ground, staying humble and hungry. If he does that, the kid's got a chance to be a special player.
Mahaney's jumped in for Roy Hibbert. And Paul Pierce with the slam.
That was a hole punch jam there, Kevin.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta love the way he tapped off that strong move.
The shot by George, no good. Celtics trail by 9. Now Rondo. He has 6. Right side Rondo. Celtics passing it around. Garnett gets to Rondo. That one goes. Count it. Rondo's got 8 points.
He is always so in control, guys. Even when he's going hard to the hoop, very skilled finisher.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
The free throws for him this year, he's making them at about a rate of 77%.
Guys, I like that this is a part of his game that has really been consistent this year.
But he gets it back. 3-pointer, Granger. Again,
Thank
the
you.
miss by
Shit,
Granger.
son.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they are lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Pacers leading by 7. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. And here's George for 3. That doesn't go either for George.
And his mechanics are just all out of whack now. He just has no feel for his shot.
Well, his numbers certainly backed up. I mean, he has gone ice cold here.
Here's Garnett. Slams it on the run.
Damn.
Granger kicks to Hill. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. Here's Garnett.
Nice.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Pacers. Celtics trail by 5. And a look at the 5 for the Celtics to start the fourth quarter. Rajon Rondo and Avery Bradley out there in the backcourt. Garnett out there with Green. And it's Pierce in at the 3, the small forward. And the 3 off target. The Pacers shooting straight 49% from the field. The kick out to Hill. Hansbrough inside. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jeff Green. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. David West is checked in for Hansbrough. Green comes in for Danny Granger. And Stevenson's checked in for George. And B.J. Augustine subbed in for George Hill. The Celtics also changing it up. Chris Villa comes in for Kevin Garnett. And it's Terry in for Rajon Rondo. Brandon Bass is checked in for Boston. Here's Terry. Outside Pierce. Now the dish to Brandon. Green with a screen for Bass. And then it's Pierce with the jam.
Did you know he could throw it down like that in traffic? I sure did.
I didn't either. Very unusual coming from him, but very impressive nonetheless.
Hey guys, maybe it's something we'll see a little more of from him down the road.
Augustine passes to Stevenson. Kicks it to Augustine. Dishes to Stevenson. Shoots over Bradley. And the basket by Stevenson.
Well, you hate to see a guy suffer through a game like this, but his team is winning.
Oh, shit.
Loose. Augustine dishes to Stevenson. The basket is good. The assist from Augustine. Augustine's got 4 assists now tonight. Bradley kicks to Terry. He dishes it to Green. Passes it to Bradley. On the wing tip. Pass for 3. Pierce.
Jesus.
Pierce Green.
I dunked that shit this time.
Goes up again. First distance pays off as they finally hit a shot.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for him. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Bass. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Jason Terry. The feed to Stevenson. Jacks up a 3. And Boston with the rebound. Garnett's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
He's trying to get it going from outside.
Some changes for Boston. Terry outside. He feeds it to Williams. Feeds it to Sullinger. And the pass to Bass. Puts the lead in
good
front
D.
of him. Just 5 to shoot. Terry the pass to Bass. And it's rejected. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off the shot. 4-second violation. Pacers leading by 7. Three-pointer Augustine.
Doing basketball, bro.
Mahimi dishes to Green. He kicks it to Stevenson. Down low.
Thank you.
Crawford with the steal. And pushing it up. Here's really shaking.
Tearing that roof down with that one.
Yeah, and really a dunk contest dunk that time. Wow.
Yeah, unreal. What a dunk.
Augustine against Crawford. Green kicks to Stevenson. Green, the pass to Mahimi. It's stolen by Bass. And pushing it up. Here's Boston. Williams is running.
I like the awareness they had there. Guys were headed out on the break the instant the steal was made.
And they got the easy bucket because of it.
Timeout called the Pacers. And they're making some changes. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, the head coach for the Pacers had some instruction for his guys during that break. He told the guys that for now, he wants to see them back off the three-point shot, saying, all our offense doesn't need to come from perimeter jump shots. Let's get the ball inside for some high-percentage looks.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. I remember when Jason Terry started out with the Atlanta Hawks, the star player, putting up great numbers, but not a lot of wins.
And that, to me, a lot of times, Kevin, is a function of the environment you're in and the other players. This is not tennis or track and field or golf. You need other good players around you to win in the NBA. And where Dallas has that and have been perennial contenders, Terry has found a way to make major contributions. So I think he learned from his experience in Atlanta that you don't take being on a winning team for granted.
On the clock. From deep, George. They get it back.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. He'll knock that down more
Got him.
often than not.
Williams.
Dang. Good D.
The Pacers pull it in. George has got his 3rd rebound tonight. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota. And that game closes out the 4-game homestand for them.
And I'll be looking out for the final score in that Timberwolves game. That should be a close game. You know, Danny Granger's a guy who gets plenty of recognition for his scoring ability, but I think he brings so much more to the table than that. He rebounds the ball, he defends, he blocks shots, and he can guard multiple positions as well.
And Danny Granger, a multi-dimensional player, and as you mentioned, Steve, he has a lot of versatility to his game. Clark, you've had a chance to see him firsthand in Indiana. Tell us your thoughts on it.
Well, I've enjoyed watching his growth. He's been better defensively the last 2 seasons. His shot selection has improved. You know, he's the 17th pick back in 2005 and really got on the floor in the first year because of his defensive ability. And starting to see some of that come back with a more well-rounded offensive game.
Boston making some changes. And here's Hill for 3. George dishes to Granger. Second chance effort.
Of course.
He's going to have to be very careful, guys, because that's his 4th foul now, so we'll see how he responds.
Foul call. Looks like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws. Jeff Green picks one up. No good on the free throw. And he sinks the second. Celtics trail by 7. Now here's Rondo. Outside Pierce. Lets it go from the wing. Danny Granger pulls it in. Granger's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
Boy, I am absolutely loving this. They're pumping Poppy down there, taking no prisoners, coming away with every ball.
And that willingness to fight for every loose ball